Hello everyone, and welcome to our short film. I'm Sinder. My partners in the creation of the film are Carleo and Liane. The topic we have chosen is reality in a Rio de Janeiro favela. In this context, we will examine the following topic in more detail.
Media reports on Rio's informal settlements are often stereotyped as dangerous and miserable places to live plagued by drug violence. This continues a vicious cycle of otherness and discrimination, in which no one identifies with the adversity many favela inhabitants experience. Especially in critical times, such as that of current coronavirus, the favela residents are neglected due to their negative image and do not receive the same health standards.
They can be dangerous for sure, because we know about the international drugs traffic, but it's not only this. There's a lot of misunderstanding about favela, about people who live in favela, about how's everything there, how everything works, and for sure a lot of prejudice. So we should take care and be careful when you talk about favelas, especially when you're not from there.
Minha mãe não deixa a gente sair pra rua porque tem muito carro, muita moto, pode atropelar, também tem muito bandido. É que tem muitos caras com muita arma, aí ela tem medo, aí a gente não fica na rua, a gente fica em casa. E meu leite?
Realmente eu não deixo sair por esse motivo, porque pode estarem brincando num lugar sossegado e de repente estourar alguma coisa e não dá tempo de chegar em casa, morrer no meio do caminho.
Eles estão cheirando maconha, eles ficam cheirando pó, crack. Às vezes não tem ela porque dá tiroteio.
É perigoso, sim. Também não vou falar, não, lá é super tranquilo, de fato não é. Né? De uns anos para cá tem piorado muito. Eu tô lá há 10 anos. Né? De uns 4 anos para cá, a situação ficou muito mais violenta, ficou muito pior. Porque o que acontece? Tem as incursões policiais, né, que acontecem dentro das comunidades. Hoje essas incursões, né, estão em horários que normalmente são horários que batem com o horário escolar, horário de criança entrando ou saindo da escola, e há tiroteios, né, e os moradores nunca sabem quando vão ter essas incursões, então assim, eles ficam à mercê da violência.
3 words that I associate, maybe negligence by the government, for sure, courage and hope. Yeah, I think people who live there, they have a lot of hope, and that's important.
Potência, invisível, eles são invisíveis, falta de oportunidade.
Solidário, trabalhador e sofrido.
No, they are not fairly represented by social media or just media. And most of times when they are represented, there is like, for example, in the love stories that you can see on TV, they are under romantic perspective. So we should take care of it, because people who are there, most of them didn't choose to stay there, and we don't need to romanticize this. In the other side, actually, when some media represent the favelas, it's only about violence, and that's not only the only reality of favelas. So once more, we should take care when we talk about it.
Não. É muito engraçado, né? A gente já conversa sobre isso já há bastante tempo, né? Porque as notícias que aparecem na mídia são sempre notícias ligadas à morte, ligadas ao tráfico, ligadas à violência. A gente dificilmente tem notícias boas que são divulgadas pelas mídias nas grandes favelas.
Yeah, for sure the word favela obtained a negative connotation in society. Most of people, not everyone, but I think favela it's a terrible place, dangerous, and we should take care when you talk or get in a favela or you talk to people who live there. So a lot of prejudice under this concept.
The residents of the favela are forgotten with their plight deemed unimportant, an important quote to remember by the journalist and activist Raul Santiago. Our society has constructed the idea that the favela is inferior and that people who live there are worthless.
A positive representation of the favelas certainly would reduce the discrimination, the social inequality within Rio. If people start seeing people who live in favela as the working class that they are, as productive people, people who contribute to the financial stability of the city, yes, they will be less discriminated. As long as the media stops showing only guns, heavy guns, and bailes funk, and dirt, and poverty, if they start showing art within favela, there is a lot, in regular life, family life, and things like that, yes, it would be, people would start having better view, because not many people have this experience that I had with people from favelas. I had a very close relationship with people from favelas, but not everybody has this kind of experience. All they know about favelas is what they see in the media, and that's always very negative.
Slum residents complain they feel discriminated by the police, who they say automatically target young men, labeling them drug traffickers.
The police don't care if you're black or white or working, they just go in to kill. If they were doing their job, they should have arrested them and showed evidence, but they didn't, they just dumped the bodies.
From the responses of the interviewees and gathered information, it appears that the government is not interacting with the favelas other than police intervention, or in other words, police raids. Therefore, the only interaction between a favela and the government is counterproductive.
Porque é o seguinte, aqui a gente está se protegendo do sistema.
It's like this. We are protecting ourselves from the system.
A favela se protege como
The favela protects itself. The ordinary person, as well as the drug trafficker, needs protection.
Não é só o tráfico, a favela se protege como todo. As pessoas,
Society attacks us and segregates
que a
us.
gente já está cansado de ser agredido pela
We are in a civil war.
que a gente vive numa guerra civil.
The favela is typically a peaceful environment until the police arrive. Raids are part of a disastrous policy to combat drug trafficking in Rio de Janeiro. During a police raid, residents are sent an emergency text message telling them to stay inside, and raids cause schools to be cancelled at the time. Equipment used by police during raids in a favela include light armor tanks. Personal accounts say the tanks appear to be shooting seemingly at random. Such dramatic experiences can be terrifying and scarring for favela residents, which includes many children. A police raid could start at 8 a.m. and last an entire day. Reports say during a police raid, they would break into homes and torture people, as well as use residents' roofs to set up sniper positions. Residents use social media like Facebook to keep an update on what the police are doing, similar to a weather forecast, but it is the police forecast. To gauge frequency in Complexo de Mare, which is a complex of 16 favela communities with 140,000 people, on 2019 the complex had 39 police operations, one every 9.4 days. That lasted almost 300 hours and left 34 people dead and 24 school days in the news. The state's security forces have always been violent and unaccountable for their actions in the favelas. Rio de Janeiro's governor, Wilson Witsny, has promised to slaughter criminals in communities, which is at the core of his public policy, which consists of tough-on-crime rhetoric, giving police no boundaries. The mayor has even claimed that he should have the right to send a missile into a favela in order to blow up these people. This rhetoric only provokes more violence in the favela, failing to recognize that most of the residents are law-abiding, working citizens. Yet, police killings in the state of Rio de Janeiro reached a 20-year high last year, with 1,810 people murdered by security forces. almost 5 deaths per day, with 22 police officers killed in the same period. Police forces are now responsible for 43% of all violent deaths in the state. Sadly, many cases have signs of being extrajudicial killings. Other times, victims are innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire. 6 children died during police raids in 2018. If you are black and live in a favela, police mistaken anything for a gun. People have been killed for carrying an umbrella, an hydraulic jack, a cell phone, a backpack. In 2015, a 16-year-old boy was killed when his bag of popcorn was mistaken for drugs.
The factions. Do you get attacked by the police often?
Sim, aumentou em toda parte do Rio de Janeiro aumentou. Mas aqui a gente não tá pra guerrear com ninguém, entendeu? A gente aqui só quer vender a nossa droga.
The money generated by the gangs is used to buy people and protection.
In the poorest neighborhoods, random episodes of violence, torture, humiliation, and verbal aggression by the police are so common that there is a word in Portuguese for them, esculacho. The slang refers to degrading treatment of black poor citizens by police officers. A typical example of an esculacho is kicking down a door and waking up everyone inside the house, putting rifles to their heads and accusing them of using drugs. In 2018, Mr. Santiago recorded and broadcasted Rio de Janeiro police in armored helicopters shooting at his neighborhood from above. Shooting from helicopters has intensified in the last couple years, so much so that a school in Complexo de Mari installed a big yellow sign on the rooftop that read in capital letters, "School, don't shoot."
You do take shots from the favelas and the helicopters.
It's our job. We have to do it. Sometimes wrong things happen. Yeah?
I mean, innocent people get caught in the crossfire between the police.
Yeah, between the police and these gangsters, these drug dealers. We have a target. Our target is always the drug dealers, but they don't have targets. They shoot everywhere.
Do you ever think that you're in a war sometimes?
Sometimes I think so.
In Rio, killing is a game, one local tabloid announced on its front page alongside an illustration of blood-shattered Playmobil figures symbolizing Rio's extinguished youth. The game will continue to be played with no end in sight, no end defined. In April 2020, police operations rose 28% and police killings are up 58%. Although, from the police perspective, they believe that they are doing the right things and saving lives by killing certain people that they have deemed as thugs or lowlifes. Police believe that if you confront them, they deserve to use necessary force to neutralize their unjust aggression.
What attracted you to go into the factions in the first place, into faction?
Como eu mesmo tenho 3 filhos.
I have 3 kids and I need to look after them. I've done everything to look for a job and I can't get one. It's a risky business, but it allows me to look after my kids.
Police view their tactic as good, with a justification citing the city's 23% drop in murder rate in the first half of 2019. Their stance is that a criminal holding a weapon has the option to turn the gun in and surrender, but if they decide to confront, they use necessary force. The police response to innocent lives lost in that every death is investigated by the military police, the civil police, and the public attorney. All deaths come under judicial inquiry, so they trust these investigations. The police response to innocent lives lost is that every death gets investigated by the military police, the civil police, and a public attorney. Therefore, all deaths come under judicial inquiry, so they trust these investigations. On the other hand, public attorneys are the ones who are left to deal with death investigations. It is difficult to do efficient investigations because bodies are often moved from the location after death, so they don't know where it took place and there are no witness reports. They're left with only what the police provide, although they rarely still get cases with a prosecution. Public attorneys believe that they don't think police intend to kill X amount of people when starting a day. The perception is more like if they die, they're part of it. Who told them to be armed? Who ordered you to be in the favela? He's a criminal, he's there to die.
Meu nome é Michele, tenho 35 anos, moro na comunidade da Babilônia, sou nascida e criada aqui. Moro com 5 pessoas, eu mais 5. O único problema que eu sinto em morar aqui é a falta de apoio do governo. Em coisas básicas, saúde, saneamento básico e auxílio às escolas locais.
No, it's not a shame for the Rio City. Actually, it's a consequence by the negligence of the government. So that's a consequence, that is not a shame. They are, yeah. The people who live in favela, they are discriminated. My friends gave me a lot of examples, especially sometimes when they go to some malls in the South Zone and they try to buy something, they already suffer prejudice doing this. And in many other situations, in jobs, for example, people in general, they don't think about it. They just assume the same position of the government. They just keep negligencing this.
Eu acredito que as mídias, né, deveriam não só olhar pelo lado da violência, não só pelo lado ruim das comunidades. Eu acho que a população das favelas precisa que seja mostrado o que eles fazem de bom, porque, como eu falei, 99% da população são pessoas de bem.
Sim, acho. Não tenho a menor dúvida que são. São discriminados pela questão social, né? Pela questão social. Eu acho que eles mereciam uma atenção maior do governo, mereciam operações policiais mais justas. Eu me lembro recentemente, teve uma operação que uma criança morreu dentro de uma van, levou um tiro nas costas, mas a polícia identificou como um policial militar que teria atirado. Então isso mostra que não há dúvidas de que realmente eles são discriminados.
É um problema que está acontecendo no mundo todo. Mas nas comunidades, por falta de informação, as pessoas ainda estão indo para as ruas. Eu tenho uma das mães, né, do meu projeto, me mandou uma foto de uma rua da comunidade da Nova Brasília, que é a comunidade que tem o maior índice de infectados e o maior índice de perda de vidas. A rua está cheia. Os moradores continuam saindo, continuam indo, os comércios estão abertos. Então, assim, a falta de informação, né, e a falta de educação está levando as pessoas à morte, está levando as pessoas ao maior número de infecção por conta dessa doença e por conta de não obedecer às orientações do governo, de não obedecer às orientações da mídia, da televisão, que eles estão passando, né, a necessidade do isolamento, e essas pessoas não estão cumprindo.
Eu acho que eles estão fazendo muitas doações, né? Estão lutando para fazer doações para poder tentar fazer. Os líderes comunitários, eles se concentram para poder receber as doações. E muitas dessas comunidades têm agora uma pia para lavar a mão. Cada morador só sobe se lavar a mão. Entendeu? Eu já peguei várias imagens de algumas comunidades aqui do Vidigal, peguei da Morro da Coroa, que fica ali em Santa Teresa, que todos os moradores sobem e lavam as mãos antes, entendeu? E tem esses líderes comunitários que providenciam essas torneiras para lavar a mão.
Por exemplo, nas comunidades, quem está agindo nas comunidades são as próprias instituições, as próprias organizações não governamentais dentro das comunidades que estão fazendo a distribuição de cestas básicas, a distribuição de material de higiene, de máscaras. O meu projeto, né, o Vi Dançar, Nós fizemos um convênio com a IFRJ, que é uma Universidade Federal do Rio de Janeiro, que está fabricando álcool em gel para distribuir para essa população, né, que mora nessas comunidades. Então, não é nada governamental, são atividades, são ações que são feitas pelos projetos sociais, por instituições não governamentais, em conjunto com pesquisadores, com universidades públicas, que estão dando esse suporte para quem precisa.
Many Brazilians say racism, rooted in slavery, has not gone away and is not being addressed.
Se você é negro, está saindo do alemão, normalmente você vai ser abordado, você vai ser...
If you're a black man living in a favela, you're shown no respect by the police. Being a young black man in the Alamau, it's a daily struggle to survive. Each day of life is a celebration.
Isso é diária, cada dia vivo é uma comemoração.
Police believe that to stop strategies like the deaths of innocent people, they need planned operations, intelligence, and people's assistance when it comes to telling them where the criminals are and where they keep their weapons. Although this will not happen and the police know how the favela works, if you talk, you die.